Ever wonder how shoes get their shape? It's not magic, though it can seem like it.
Right.
Today's deep dive is all about getting you ready to land a job as a hand-lasting operator.
It's a cool job.
Basically, it's that skilled craftsperson in the footwear industry shaping the leather over a last to give the shoe its 3D form.
Exactly.
And we're using real interview questions from RoleCatcher's database to break down how you can knock your answers out of the park.
Yeah. We'll be covering not just what to say, but why these questions even matter to employers. So you can really showcase your understanding of this, well, this unique craft.
Okay, let's unpack this. First up on RoleCatcher's list is, can you tell us about your experience with hand-lasting machines? Seems straightforward, but what are they really asking?
Well, it seems simple, but they're gauging your comfort level. It's the core tools of the trade, right?
Makes sense.
So it's your chance to highlight not just the types of machines you've used, this one, that one, but specific tasks, maybe even a challenging repair you handled. Like, did you have to swap out a component, replace a worn part? Oh, showing you're proactive.
Exactly. Employers love that.
So instead of just saying, I've used them, it's about painting a picture of your experience, right?
Precisely.
With the machines.
And speaking of pictures, imagine you're handed a finished shoe. How do you make sure it's been properly lasted? That's another one interviewers ask a lot.
To gauge your eye, right? For detail.
Yeah, you don't want to just say, it looks good.
So what should you be looking for?
Think about those visual cues. The smoothness of the upper, proper alignment of the seams, no wrinkles or bunching.
Makes sense.
And mentioning specific tools or techniques, even for double checking, that shows you're thorough. Like, I always use this to make sure.
You're demonstrating expertise through those real-world examples.
Yeah.
Okay, but what about those curveballs they throw? Like, how do you troubleshoot issues during the hand-lasting process? I'd freeze up.
It's going to happen.
Ah.
Even experienced operators, they encounter hiccups. It's about how you think on your feet.
So let's say you're experiencing, I don't know, excessive tension while lasting the upper. A good answer walks them through it. You check the machine's settings systematically. You examine the upper material. And if you need to, you consult with a supervisor.
It's that methodical problem solving that's key.
Yeah.
Like being a shoe detective.
Yeah.
And RoleCatcher actually emphasizes this too, right? Don't they have some feature that helps tailor your answers for specific roles?
Yeah, it's their AI-powered answer tailoring. It's cool. It analyzes job descriptions, identifies keywords, helps you really optimize your answers to match what employers are looking for.
So you're not giving these canned responses, you're crafting answers that resonate with each employer.
Exactly.
That's smart. Okay, back to the hot seat. How do you ensure the quality of the shoes you produce meets company standards?
Big one.
That feels high pressure, though.
It's about showing you're not just meeting, but exceeding those standards. Talk about your process. You inspect at each stage, you follow the guidelines diligently, you flag any inconsistencies immediately.
Like, you have this mental checklist running. Each detail has to be perfect,
Right.
but sometimes things go wrong, and that leads us to, can you describe a time you had to troubleshoot a difficult issue with a hand-lasting machine?
This is where you showcase those problem-solving skills, but with a real example. Let's say you're getting inconsistent stitching. Instead of panicking, talk about how you methodically troubleshoot. You check the needle, inspect the thread tension, maybe consult the manual, whatever's needed.
It's impressive how that calm, systematic approach, it can really save the day.
Yep.
Now, RoleCatcher's guide also mentioned this job can be physically demanding.
It is.
How do you even bring that up in an interview? You don't want to scare them off.
You don't want to dwell on the negatives, but acknowledging the realities, it shows you understand what you're getting into.
Okay.
And this actually ties into a later question about prioritizing tasks when you have multiple shoes to last at the same time.
Oh, I see.
You can say something like, being on my feet all day actually helped PS me stay focused, and I've learned to manage my energy by.
Smart. You've turned a potential drawback into a positive by highlighting your, work ethic and time management skills.
Exactly. And to refine those answers even further, using RoleCatcher's AI feedback can be incredibly beneficial. It analyzes your responses, it identifies areas for improvement, provides suggestions based on, best practices.
That's like having a coach, but in your pocket, giving you real-time feedback.
Right.
Speaking of upping your game, how about this? How do you maintain the hand-lasting machines you use easy? So it's like they're testing how much you care.
They are. Employers want to know you'll treat their equipment with care. So outline your routine cleaning, lubricating, inspecting for wear and tear, and always emphasize you'd report any issues. Promptly, of course.
Being proactive about maintenance.
Shows responsibility.
Yes. Okay, speaking of working together, how about this question? Can you tell us about a time you had to work collaboratively with other operators to complete a project? Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Absolutely. This question's all about communication, how well you contribute to a team. Have a specific anecdote ready, like a time you collaborated on, I don't know, a complex order with a tight deadline.
Okay, I'm taking notes.
And describe how you delegated tasks, maybe based on people's strengths, maintained open communication, and achieved, that desired outcome together.
So it's not just about what you did, but how you all work together to overcome a challenge, get the job done.
Exactly.
It's interesting to think about that collaborative side of what seems like such detail-oriented individual work,
And that's something employers highly value. Don't be afraid to highlight it. It's true. Hand-lasting can be detail-oriented, but yeah, the best work happens when everyone's on the same page. Now, remember how we talked about the physical demands?
Yeah, definitely.
That actually ties into career paths, believe it or not.
Oh, okay.
The RoleCatcher guide mentions some operators move into quality control, where you'd still use that eye for detail, but be less hands-on.
That makes sense. Leveling up your skills, but in a different direction. Does that question come up in interviews, though? Like, what are your long-term career goals? I'd be stumped.
Oh, it's common. And it's less about having that 5-year plan and more about showing, that you're thinking ahead.
I see.
You could say, right now, I'm focused on mastering hand lasting, but I'm interested in quality control. It seems like a great way to build my skills. Something like that.
So you're demonstrating ambition, but also that you're realistic about building your skills within the company. Clever. Okay, back to those technical questions. This one was interesting. How do you stay up to date with the latest industry trends and technologies related to hand lasting?
Right. It sounds broad, but they want to see you're a continuous learner. So think about how you engage with the industry. Do you read footwear magazines, attend workshops?
Okay.
Mention any online resources too. RoleCatcher actually has a good list in their guide.
That's right. They mentioned shoemaking today in some online forums, right? It's like a secret shoe club.
Yeah.
But how does that relate to, actually using the machines?
Technology's influencing even traditional crafts these days. Maybe you learned a new stitching technique from a forum that reduces strain on the upper? Or you saw some new adhesive at a trade show?
So you're saying?
Bringing those examples in, it shows you're engaged beyond just the basics.
Even if the company uses classic techniques, they don't want someone who's stuck in their ways.
Exactly.
Speaking of passing on knowledge, how would you answer this? Can you describe a time you had to train a new hand-lasting operator? That's a tough one.
It's about leadership and mentoring. A good answer highlights patience, clear communication, and a supportive style. For example, I once trained someone who was struggling with a particular stitching technique. I broke it down into steps, provided demos, and offered encouragement. Eventually, they mastered it.
So you're showing them, not just telling them. You're showing how you teach through actions.
And the impact it had.
I like that. Reminds me of how RoleCatcher's AI analyzes your answers, right?
Yes. They can assess if you're using strong verbs, highlighting results. Those are crucial.
It's like a secret weapon for job seekers. Okay, back to the questions. This one's a little more philosophical. Why do you think hand-lasting is important in today's world of mass production?
Don't overthink it. This is about your passion. You could say, in a world of automation, there's something special about creating by hand. Hand-lasting ensures quality, precision that machines can't replicate.
It's true. There's that human touch.
Plus, it allows for customization, that personal touch that customers value.
That's a great answer. You've combined your enthusiasm with, understanding what customers actually want these days. Now, let's talk about a different challenge, finding those job opportunities. RoleCatcher's guide mentioned this handmade, customized footwear boom is creating tons of jobs.
Absolutely. And their job board is updated constantly, with listings just for hand-lasting. You can filter by location, experience, even company size.
Wow, let's go one-stop shop. Speaking of serious, this next question is serious. Can you tell us about a time you had to meet a tight deadline? Pressure's on.
Classic question. They're assessing your time management, how you stay calm under pressure.
Right.
Share a specific time you met a tough deadline. Describe the situation, your actions, and of course, the positive outcome.
It's about showing you can deliver, even when things get crazy.
Yes.
And speaking of delivering, this ties into something else important, following up afterwards. RoleCatcher mentioned that, right?
Huge. Send that personalized thank you note within 24 hours.
It's like the final stitch.
It shows you're still thinking about them.
Reiterate your enthusiasm. Maybe you highlight something specific that stood out during the conversation.
Exactly. It leaves a good impression. Yeah, it really makes a difference.
And speaking of details, let's circle back to something we talked about earlier, RoleCatcher's AI-powered resume tailoring. That sounds kind of revolutionary. What's the deal with that?
It's a game changer. RoleCatcher's AI analyzes tons of data, identifying patterns and stuff to give you an edge.
So it's more than just adding a few buzzwords.
Way more. It really digs into the job description. It figures out what skills and experience they actually care about. Then it compares that to your resume.
And tells you where you need to improve.
Exactly.
That's cool. So it's like having a professional resume writer on call.
Totally. And it takes the guesswork out of it. No more agonizing over every little word.
That's incredible. It's like having a marketing team, but just for you. Does it help with cover letters, too?
Absolutely. RoleCatcher can help you write cover letters, answer those application questions, and even prep for interviews.
It's like a whole career toolkit. No wonder everyone's talking about it.
And the best part, it's super accessible. They've got free and paid options.
Oh, nice. Everyone can use it.
Exactly. No matter where you are in your career, there's something there for you.
I love that. It's all about giving people the tools to succeed.
And with RoleCatcher, landing your dream job, it might be closer than you think.
This whole deep dive has been fascinating. We went from talking about a specific job to, I don't know, it's like design, technology, even a little philosophy about craftsmanship.
It's true. Hand-lasting operators, they're blending the old and the new. Classic techniques with all the latest advancements.
To create amazing shoes. And none of it would be possible without those skilled craftspeople.
Yeah.
It's been great learning about their world today.
The pleasure was all ours. And for everyone listening, remember, whether you're just starting out or you're a total pro, there's a world of opportunity out there.
So embrace that passion, keep learning, and definitely check out RoleCatcher.
Yes.
The link's in the show notes. It's like having a secret weapon for your job hunt. Until next time, keep those creative sparks flying.